definitely not a physical barbershop. It definitely is a mental location. Y'all already know the incomparable.
He's back. Welcome back
I couldn't even
to
do
the
the
place
I couldn't even
we've
do the introduction
always
without him
dreamed
starting the
about.
foolishness.
Welcome back.
No, no, sing the rest of it.
I don't know the words.
No, no,
Man.
I
I don't know
figured
the
that.
words. Man. I was on the chorus. Who
I-
who does know the words? Let me guess. Let me guess. I
Also,
know who
after
know the
Paul,
words.
you already
Two
know.
terabytes over there. Ever see somebody walk around with
Introducing-
2 terabytes on their shoulder?
Introducing Tori Taylor, fellas. How y'all
That head
feeling,
ain't big
man?
for nothing.
Good, man. I'm glad you just treated Paul like a speed bump and just kept right on going. Slow down and just keep going, man. But Paul, you good, bro?
Yes, man. I missed y'all last week, man. That bug got up on me, man. I had to had to shake it off,
Hey,
bro.
y'all, definitely. Man, when I tell you, in all seriousness, it's laughs and jokes now, but there is a mysterious virus that's going around. Be careful. Wash those hands. Stay away from
That's not the
people.
one I had though. I just want to just go on record and say I ain't got nothing to do with that virus Sterling talking about. I ain't got none of that.
He
You know,
could.
we gonna call it a bug.
Yeah, that's what it is, huh?
Some people got bugs, some people got bugaboos. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's laughs and jokes on the intro as always, man. But we're definitely facing some perilous times. This
Yes,
really,
yes.
no joking, not funny, man.
Yes,
But,
yes. Laugh to keep from crying.
Sometimes you got to allow to keep from crying, bro.
Yeah, that's it,
Yeah.
man.
But you know, it reminds me of that old phrase: "Only the strong survive."
right.
Only the strong. So, what does that say to you, Paul?
Man, to be honest, the first to me, when y'all gave me the topic, the first question comes to my mind, and I think a lot of people survive what? You know what I'm saying? You got to know what you fighting. You know what I'm saying? If you go into a gunfight and you show up with a butter knife,
Uh-oh.
chances are you
You're
ain't
going
gonna
to
you ain't gonna be well prepared. So
we gave some foreshadowing, and tonight we're discussing survival of the fittest. And you know, I'm sure you've heard of social Darwinism, and it alludes to that to an extent. But tonight, talking about survival of the fittest in this new world that we're getting to know, survival of the fittest mentally, and also spiritually as well as financially. So
Yeah.
we're coming from some different aspects. You'll get some laughs, you'll get some jokes, and it might not be as many as it usually is, but like I said earlier, this definitely is not a laughing matter.
yeah, no, it's not,
Nah,
bro. It's
definitely not
serious.
laughing matter. So much going on, man. It's like what what do you focus on? There's so much to focus on now, and trying to maintain your mental health through all of this, the stuff that's
Bruh,
going on in the world. Yeah,
It
Fellas.
seems like history just happening so fast
Yeah.
now, man. Just
Fellas,
the things that's going on. Is like,
Let me interrupt you real quick. We lost 5 U.S. service members, and I think it would be apropos if we take just a moment of silence in their honor.
names for that sacrifice.
All gave some, but some gave all. Thank you so much for your service. To all of our U.S. service personnel, domestic
Thank
and
you for your
international,
service.
and
Thank
to
you for your
to the
service.
two of you, man. I know this one hits different from both of you because y'all
Yeah.
saw
I'm
y'all saw
telling you,
theaters of combat, man.
bruh, I was in the Iraqi desert, so you know what I'm saying. It just all came flooding back, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I remember that summer, man. I was sitting in that Iraqi desert, man, and those service members that's over there, and you know, it's one thing to be back sitting up watching it on CNN or something.
Yeah.
But to actually be in that war zone, you hear them planes going over your head. You feel them bombs rattling the earth, you know, and it's like, wow, you know, you actually got insurgents out there shooting at you and stuff, man. It ain't no joke, bro.
And the crazy thing is, once upon a time, it was, you know, our veterans don't deserve all that money. But the truth of it is, my brothers, both of you received disability. I won't disclose what it is, but it is, Paul, I know, and also Tori.
My yang not broke, though.
We're
My yang
truly
definitely
friends,
not
and
broke.
y'all have shared some of your experiences. But, Paul, I mean, one in particular, when you told me about being in the desert on watch. If you want to share that, just about 30 seconds of that
Yeah,
story,
man.
man.
It was well, thank you for combining it to 30 seconds for me, Sterling. It was
Take your time, brother.
But no, man,
Take your
it's
time.
just reality, man. It's just the reality of it, man. When you over there and it's not a drill, it's not no practice run. There are really people in this general vicinity that would prefer you to be dead. You know, that's
And
that's
dog,
a real thought.
mentally, do you? I mean, Desert Storm was what back in 91, 92.
I was over there in the summer of '91. Yes.
Do you mentally? Do you really ever get over that?
No, bro. I mean, you know, and it's funny. I tell this story, man. I had two particular nights when I was over there, man. The scaredest I've ever been in my life, and the maddest I've ever been in my life. And to this day, man, I use those experiences, man, as my gauge. Whenever I think I'm in a situation where I'm so mad, I might, you know, snap. You know, I refer back to that night. You know what I'm saying? If I can keep my calm in that, I can keep my calm in this. And the same thing with being scared. You know, if I can hold my ground, what he was talking about, I had to pull guard duty at a guard shift, and I had the shift from midnight to 4 in the morning. So I get out there.
Balls to 4.
Right. So so I get out there at midnight, about 30 minutes into my guard duty shift. Boom. You know, I was in a little area. It was all lit up by generators. But something snapped and blew the generator. And just 2 days before, at the same spot I was standing in, some insurgents were shooting at the kids. So I didn't know if it was me. So so I was like, you know, you didn't know if something tripped the generator or if somebody tripped the
And
generator.
it's that mental aspect. You know, U.S. service personnel really go through more than just the moments of just the bombs,
Right.
just being in the area.
Yeah.
At any given moment, you can lose your life, and I'm sure that is an element of PTSD that no one can imagine.
Yeah, man.
You know,
It'll sit
from the
with you.
from the outside looking in, I can't understand it, but from the inside looking out, you can't explain it.
Right. It was scary.
Yeah.
That's
Tori,
how I
you
get
got
it.
any-
That would
It was
definitely
scary. I got
that would
3
definitely
words.
scare you. You
Yeah,
know, when
yeah,
you
man.
out there and those bullets flying, or if you don't know if it's bullets or you
Right.
don't know if it's a bomb.
Bro, they told we're supposed to have our weapons on safe. Man, I
Yeah,
couldn't
take
see
it off
nothing.
safe, yeah.
Off safe. My jump was on fully automatic, bro. If a mosquito flapped his wing too loud, bro, I just
Fire
made
off
up my
on
mind. I'm not dying in this desert, bro. You know.
I get that,
I'm gonna give you 1 second. Come back with anything other than English, and I got something warm and hot for you. Bro.
Hey,
It's
so
coming.
to that story, Anissa Z8C. Hello, all. I have a cousin in the Navy headed to Iran now. Man,
Who y'all Navy?
Wow.
I'm praying for your family member,
Yeah.
praying for your cousin. I'm
Yeah,
a Navy
man.
veteran. I did 10 years in the Navy. And I know that right now, we're talking about the war, guys. And I know that right now, some people not calling it a war, they calling it strikes. It's a war. It's an open conflict with a
Right.
formidable opponent. Iran has a formidable military. They have the most powerful military in the Middle East.
Right.
So it's not going to be easy battle. We've already lost some American soldiers. So, you know, war is real. So, you know, I'm praying for your family member.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Prayers.
war right now through the air. And a lot of those are coming from off of, you know, the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. Right.
Tori, did you serve on an aircraft carrier?
I did. My last duty station was on board the USS Ronald Reagan.
So to this listeners or viewers, cousin, can you like talk us through how that person might feel going into a war zone?
I've never been in war. I've been over in theater. I went on deployment over in the Middle East, as a matter of fact, but I've never actually, you know, been in war. I was a paralegal. I worked in the office space. So, you know, I wasn't out there on the front lines.
Got a ribbon for paper clip.
Let me tell you, you know what I'm saying? Push that paper. But, you know, that's important too.
No,
you know,
no,
you need your
I'm
support
te- I
system. And
tease,
so,
but yeah.
you know, I like, again, I worked in the office. However, on the aircraft carrier, you know, you have the flight crew, you know, you have the pilots, you have, you know, that, you know, those jets are flying in, flying off
Yeah.
all day, all night.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're going in, you know, we say in the Navy, you know, we put warheads on foreheads. And so those pilots are going in, they're flying their sorties, they're dropping bombs, you know, they're coming back, refueling, going back and doing it again.
Wow.
You know, so they're out there in the field. So, you
Bro,
know,
that's what I used to say when I was over there, man. The most lethal force on Earth outside of a nuclear bomb is a U.S. airstrike.
Yes,
bro.
sir.
You
No doubt.
do
Yes, sir.
not want
So,
that smoke.
you know
you
what would-
don't want it.
you're going to have a bad day if one of those,
Right.
one of those flying
You
over
don't.
your
You
head.
don't want no U.S.
But
airstrike
you don't
on you,
want that,
bro.
bro.
Keeping it relevant, I mean, survival of the fittest. Our military is unparalleled hands down the most formidable military in the world.
Right.
The truth of it is, beyond the military, we are facing some times where mentally it's on overload. I know some people, my mom always tells me, I can only watch so much of the news. You got to learn when to click that news off. When it starts, it goes into creating a paranoia for you personally and leading you into a PTSD or a bad place. Guess what? It's time to turn the channel, decompress, and come back to it later.
Yeah.
Don't fall into that trap of the propaganda. And that's one of those trigger words. The propaganda, the media does create sensationalization that keeps you addicted and attracted to that television. For your own mental health, take a break.
Yeah, I have to do
decompress.
that all the
Watch
time.
Breaking
something else.
news.
Yeah, I have to do that all the time, man, because I do follow the news. I watch it a lot, and because I want to be informed and up to date and know what's going on.
Right.
However, there are times I just have to turn it off, man, because this just gets too heavy.
It's too much,
It's
man.
too much of a strain on my mental health. I get irritable. I deal with issues of anxiety.
No,
I can feel-
not you.
Yeah, I do, man. I feel
Not you.
Like, I feel that that anxiousness.
No.
So I got to turn it off and I got to walk away, man.
So that's one of your anxiety triggers.
It is. Well, I mean, it depends on what's going on. War right now, absolutely. What
Yeah.
the situation's going on right
And when
now.
you
with
hear
the war.
breaking news, and it seems like they do it just to capture your attention and to keep you addicted. This just in, breaking news. Hey, stick around. We have an update on the story.
Yeah,
And
and,
it's just like,
especially
come on.
when they're talking about casualties. We've lost 5 of our of our troops, and that it hit home because I served in the military. I still have people who I served with are still serving.
Still serving, yeah.
They're still in the military. They're still in the Navy. People I know that are over there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That are still in the military and that could potentially be in harm's way. So you think about those families that a lot of them, some of them, the president say they know what they signed up for. However,
Man.
Right.
However, it
No
gets
one signs
real.
up. No one signs up to die.
Nobody signs up to die. Nobody wants to die. You know what I'm saying? They may want to fight, but they don't want to die.
Right.
And so when a soldier, one of the troops lose their life, it always hits home for me.
Yeah, man. Yes. I hate to see that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Paul,
that's sad.
you kind of like the resident finance guy when it comes to crypto. And truthfully, survival of the fittest when it comes to financing. The day might come where the U.S. dollar doesn't have much value.
To be honest with you, bro, to me, this is the most, as far as the African American community, this is the biggest battle we face. It's financial. Going forward, man, the real battle is going to be between the have and the have-nots, man. And we really, as a community, we got to kind of push ourselves to kind of start looking outside the box, man. We get so set on trying to make it a certain way. And, if it's going to take you to a certain spot, we got to adjust our focus. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, right now, just looking at the financial situation, everything is shifting. The value of the dollar is going down. You can have
completely unstable.
You can have X amount of dollars in the bank, and that can stay right there. But what you can get for that X amount of dollars is going down.
Yeah, it's changed. Yeah.
And we got to be aware of that, because if we don't, we're going to sit up here, keep doing the same old thing, and it's going to put us in situations where our money ain't covering what we needed to cover, and we ain't got nothing else to fall back on.
And the people in power are manipulating the system right now. That's the crazy thing. The people in power are actually manipulating the markets. They're manipulating the system. They are basically taking from the poor, giving to the wealthy.
And I was about to say, dare I
Yeah.
say, is it that the number of haves are decreasing and the number of have-nots is increasing?
No, it's actually the opposite. It's the number of millionaires and billionaires is skyrocketing.
Okay, but is it disproportionately growing because of the number of
The
people
wealth
who are
gap,
losing?
the wealth gap is
absolutely.
disproportionately
That is
growing.
my-
The
that is
rich-
my
The
point.
wealth
The
gap
rich-
is going to that top 1% of people.
That is
and
my
it's
point,
a
Tori.
it's a small group of people.
Yeah.
It's a couple
Right.
thousand
The
people.
elites.
Yeah, it's a couple thousand
But,
people,
Tori,
and then the rest. I think they own. I think the 400 richest families, the 400 wealthiest families in America, the top 1% of America, they own. I think they own 10% of the wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I have that backwards. Anyway, they own a lot of the wealth, right?
Right.
And the bottom, rest of us, like we're struggling for the scraps.
That was my point, dog.
Yeah.
That was you just
But see, that's
articulated
but,
exactly what I
but
was saying.
that's just it. We don't define for ourselves what's scrap and what's not scrap. You know what I'm saying? We sitting over here putting our money in the stuff that's not doing nothing for us.
and does not matter.
If I can impart one thing on people, and it's not that I'm perfect, it's just a mindset that I'm shifting to. Your money can make just as much money for you as if you go somewhere and clock in, and we don't realize that. We don't put ourselves in a position to let that happen. We think the only way we're going to put money in our bank account is
It's
to go
9 to
somewhere,
5.
put in some work, and do it. And that type of mentality is what's going to have us falling further behind, because the money, the paper money we earning, is buying us less and less. And we putting our that little bit into things that's
don't matter.
that's even further decreasing in value.
Right.
You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Start buying assets that appreciating assets, man, and that's where it's going to. We gotta start thinking
So
along.
how,
So
how
what's
do we
your-
get out of? I'm sorry.
What's your strategy for not being a have-not?
I was going to say that. That's my question.
Great question. For me, everybody, first of all, everybody gotta base their decisions on their own particular situation. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, and it's more than one way to skin a cat. I personally am heavily invested in crypto. I just think it's an opportunity right now. We're in the midst of a global financial shift. Everything is going from the old banking system that we've been using since the 70s, and everything is going digital blockchain now. Right now, the coins that's going to be moving money around the world, the value of them is really low because they're not being utilized.
Right.
But that's going to soon change. And if you can see the forest for the trees, start accumulating those assets now, when this shift is complete, you're going to be sitting in a good
Y'all
situation.
do realize the value of silver has gone up tremendously. The value of gold, for the first time, has depreciated in a long time.
No,
For the first-
bro,
for the
gold
first
is
time-
gold is skyrocketing, bro.
for the first
Gold
time-
and silver.
Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, it had depreciated. Now it is once again appreciating.
Mm-hmm.
Silver, proportionally, is gaining a lot more momentum even than gold is. How do y'all feel about gold and silver for trade?
I absolutely love them. Again, appreciating assets. You got to put your money in stuff where the value is going up, not putting your money in stuff where the value is staying flat or going down.
Depreciating. Yeah,
Man,
I agree.
somebody mentioned to me the other day, now is the time, the day of the attack. Now is the time to not spend frivolously. Hold on to what you got and start that nest egg.
Listen,
even
man.
more.
Yeah. Well, we knew. We knew prices was gonna go up.
Time,
Gas prices shot up the day of.
out,
you
time
know.
out, bruh.
Yeah.
People got to do their homework. You buy in cases of extreme fear. You sell in cases of extreme greed. If you do your homework, right now, that's what they want us to be. They want us to be scared. They want us to be fearful. They don't want us to invest in nothing. They got us believing that all of this stuff is going to crap. And in the meantime, while we're believing that and staying out of it, they behind the scenes accumulating
More
and
wealth.
accumulating and accumulating. And by the time everything turns around and everybody's like, oh, well, maybe I do need to be buying this. By that time, the price is already skyrocketed,
Yeah,
and
they
you
gouged
fattening
already.
and you done fattening their pockets because they bought it when it was nothing and everybody was running from it. That's what I mean by get out of our mindset that we in now. Do some homework. You can see it. It's right there. In this day and age, there's really no excuse, bro, because all of the information is accessible to us. We just don't do it. We just get in a rut and we stay in the rut and we keep doing the same thing, thinking we're going to get something different.
So you got to hear what one of our viewers checked out. One time for Big D8890. That sounds good, but they will do is move the goalpost.
They always do.
They will find out what they know, then they'll, in quotation marks, create another way, hence cryptocurrency.
See.
So to this viewer, are you saying that you think crypto is a gimmick that will just allow them to garner more money and then they'll move the goalposts?
Again,
Kind of qualify your statement.
it goes to doing your homework. Listen, if you in the market to buy a car, right? and you go to a lemon orchard, some whacked used car lot, and you buy a lemon, the lemon of all lemons, and you walk away from that saying, man, don't mess with cars. They just lemons. They all lemons. You are excluding yourself from all of the great values that are out there. Are there some gimmicks out there? Absolutely. But are there some opportunities to make generational wealth? Absolutely. And you got to know the difference. And that comes from doing your homework, doing your research. I guarantee you, those big boys that he's talking about going to move those goalposts, I guarantee you, in all of this stuff, they're going to make billions.
Yeah,
and if
they
you pay
always do.
attention to how they're moving and you align yourself with what they doing, they telling everybody else not to buy this stuff because it's crap, and then behind the scenes, they buying it. So guess what I'm doing behind the scenes? I'm buying it.
Yeah.
They going to have billions, I'm going to have millions, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's
You
what
just,
they're doing.
You just got to pay attention. Pay attention to what they moving. But yeah, there's manipulation, but there's manipulation in everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
In
they're
everything.
manipulating the market, and I do believe that they're going to move the goalposts because they always do. That's the history of it.
That's
right?
the culture.
I'm not saying that with
Right.
crypto. I'm just saying in general.
But all
They
cryptos is not
always-
the same as what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
they
It's
always
opportunities
move-
out
move the
there. You
goalposts.
just gotta do your homework, man. It's some life changing opportunities in the crypto market right now. These coins I'm talking about, bro, right now, dollars and cents.
So we talked about, crypto and also military experience. For me, survival of the fittest, being able to protect myself, my family, and those who are close to me. Paul, you already know. Tori, you already know what time it is. You come to my house with that foolishness if you want to. Lights.
Stir.
You want to
Yeah,
sick your
So
dog
listen.
on them?
That's exactly what's going to happen.
If it
You
ain't
sick his dog on them?
if it ain't but one person in the world ready for the Armageddon, boy, it's Sterling. This joker got 17 years worth of MREs, an underground bunker.
But Paul, if and when that time comes, don't darken my doorstep.
I told him, you all remember the Matrix? The dudes was in the robots and had the people down and they putting the
Yeah.
trays in.
Yeah.
I'll just be right there putting the trays in, dog. Just keep shooting, dog.
Yeah, we definitely have to prepare because we just don't know what's coming next. You know what I'm saying? Even now, with this current administration, starting wars, they're talking about taking over the voting this coming election in November. The markets are acting funny. There's so much right now that we have to try to combat, while at the same time maintaining our mental health,
Yeah.
while at the same time taking care of our families and ourselves. Like it's just a lot. So we have to take some time to prepare, to understand what we're dealing with,
Right.
to gain as much knowledge as we can,
Right.
pay attention to what's going on so we can learn, know how to combat this stuff.
Right.
So Big D, 8890. Now, I will say life insurance is a real way we should be investing.
Yeah, we invest in life insurance.
Yeah,
My wife
definitely.
and I, yeah.
Like I said, it's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm not saying crypto is the only way to do it. We just got to be in the mindset of putting our money into things that's going to grow and work for us. Absolutely. I think life insurances, that was one of the Rockefellers. A lot of those historically rich families, that was the origin of a lot of their
foundation, right,
wealth was
foundation of
insurance and
wealth,
stuff.
yeah.
So that's one of the biggest wealth transfers
Yeah,
is insurance.
John
So
McCain,
that's
financed
absolutely a
his-
good point.
His presidential campaign
Right.
through his life insurance policies.
Right.
Yeah,
So
there's definitely money in that.
I absolutely agree with him. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah,
I
you can
think life
diversify your
insurance is-
portfolio.
Right.
You
And
know
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
people don't understand what that diversification of portfolio is.
Well, it's just like Paul's saying, when it goes back to doing what works best for you, what you're comfortable with in your
Right,
lane, right?
right.
So, crypto, life insurance, stocks,
real estate.
real estate, that's diversity, different avenues of income,
Right.
of
multiple revenue streams.
multiple revenue streams.
That's-
There you go.
The misses.
Yeah,
That's what I call it.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
need to get me a misses.
Why do you call it the misses?
MRS, multiple revenue streams,
There you
baby.
go.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a good one, Paul. The misses.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Introducing the misses.
The introducing
Now, is
the
that your
misses.
own? That's your.
No, that's one shout out to KD, Kevin Davis. That was one of my boys' terms. KD, man.
Rest in peace,
Rest
Kev.
in
You
peace,
live on
KD.
even right now in this
Yep.
moment, man. But people don't understand survival is more to it than just the mental or the physical. It is the entirety of mental and physical that is your being. You can't be mentally strong and weak in your body. You can't be bodily strong and weak in your mind. It truly is a connective, collaborative effort between the two to make
And
the
it
whole
take
person.
resources, so you got to have your finances
And the
right.
thing is,
gotta have
not just the resource of finances. Now is not the time to be an island. You're going to need people during this whole survival of where we are right now. For example, I got MREs at the house. One of my brothers needs something to eat. Come to the house. You can get what I don't want. No, I'm joking. But in all seriousness,
Save the tuna for me, brother.
There you go.
That's the only one I used to like when I was in the desert.
Really?
Speaking of Desert Storm, it was the tuna a la king or whatever it was called. That was the only MRE I would eat. The rest of
I've
them was
had
you didn't
one
get hungry
MRE.
enough, I see.
I had
No, I
one
did not
MRE
get
in my
hungry
whole
enough.
entire life, and it was the apple brown Betty, and I smacked it.
Bruh, they
That
had
was
the
it.
one. They had the one. The
was good.
beef patties was dry. You put water in it, let it sit for like a couple minutes, and it rehydrates the patty. And I was like, nope,
Nah, I'm good
nope,
with it.
nope.
Yeah, that's
nope.
why I joined the Navy, and I did my job in air-conditioned spaces.
Bruh,
And
true-
we had a calf, so we would,
True
went to the-
story. When I
went to
was
the
in
galley
Desert
to
Storm,
go eat.
we had families. The families used to send us big old care packages, and we had a dude in our tent from Louisiana. Oh my goodness, bro! His mom sent us a big old box. She had like the pinto beans, the dehydrated onions. This fool went to making red beans, bro. We had the whole block smelling like, hey, y'all, how that tuna tasting today, bro? So wish you could get some of these red beans.
MREs
Right.
for me today.
Hey, you get hungry enough, I guarantee you, you'll eat 'em, man. But
Oh yeah, I know. I
Only
would.
people had us
ain't gonna
was
starve now.
the Australian soldiers, bro. They used to ship them jokers in steaks. Them jokers be over there barbecuing every day. Now, they fire up them grills, boy. It was a shrimp on the barbie.
Shrimp on the barbie. Yeah. I actually when I was actually on deployment. We were out in the Gulf and we were guarding these oil wells because the terrorists were threatening to go blow up the oil wells.
Right.
And that was the I think it was Iraq. That was their source of income. And so that's what our job was. We were just protecting the oil wells.
Right.
But there was a ship from New Zealand that was out there too. I got a chance to go over and board. Man, they got carpet in their
wow.
ships.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
got
yeah.
big racks.
Oh, yeah,
You
they
know,
treat-
a rack
they-
is a bed. We call them a rack in the Navy, but they got these big racks. They were bigger than ours.
Oh, you got in somebody big bed
I didn't
on the
get
Norwegian
in the bed,
ship?
but I
Oh,
just
okay.
saw
I was
it.
just
Okay, I ain't
saying,
getting in
brother.
nobody's bed.
I was just teasing,
But
I was teasing.
yeah.
Carl Creighton, what is your take on expatriate? You guys know what that is?
I don't know. what that is.
Expat rate? Oh, yeah.
Expatriate?
I'm assuming the expat rate. That's people that's leaving the United States, moving to other countries.
Bingo.
Bruh, I think I'm not going. I don't think I would ever move somewhere like I'm permanently, but I definitely am intent on having me a residence outside the United
Now,
States
there are
that I
some
can go to.
individuals right now, a lot of African Americans are leaving the United States and going to both Belize and Costa Rica. And not
Portugal,
a
necessarily,
lot
not
of
necessarily
places.
renouncing their U.S. citizenship,
No.
but
You
they
never give that
they
up.
have dual citizenship. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I don't even know if I'm
I
gonna do
ain't
the
leaving.
duel.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna do my part to fight against the systems that are, trying to oppress us. I'm not going there.
And
I'm not
stick it
leaving
to the
my
man,
home.
huh?
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Whoever that is,
I'm
whatever.
always gonna be a U.S. citizen. I'm always vote, but I am gonna have me a getaway spot that I can go to and just rent it out when I'm not there. But I think, that's a decision from everybody. I got kids in the States that are not going to move
But there are
overseas.
some, they
so
feel like their survival of being the fittest is to leave. I know several people. Rich Mo went over to Ghana.
Richmond, frat brother, yeah.
Yeah. Britt Lyle went over to Ethiopia. Several people I know went down to Belize, and there's a great concentration, and it's become like the second migration, if you will, of black folks.
Yeah.
Not the migration out west or to the north, but this time
Yeah.
down to Belize.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that may
yeah.
work. That may work for some people. And that's their choice. If you do what works best for you and your family in
Yeah,
your
I
situation.
can dig
I
that.
have no problem with that.
Yeah, I
As for
mean-
me and my family, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere.
So, we had last week's show, part 2 of Happily Ever After, Happily what was it?
Happily Never After.
Happily Never After. So you talked about compromise. If y'all didn't see that show, make sure you check it out.
Yeah.
But compromise. Let's say the wife wants to do it.
She don't want to go nowhere.
You say that because she's not sitting.
She don't want to leave.
Your wife outside.
We've talked
bro.
about this.
Yeah.
We talked about this. She don't want to go nowhere.
I'm gonna call out the show
I'm not
to
gonna
find out.
allow them to. I'm not gonna allow them to force me or get me to move. I'm not gonna do that. Our ancestors were brought here against their will. This is our home now.
Not everybody that goes overseas is abandoning the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like if I go over there, like
might
I
be
said,
for financial
I got
reasons.
U.S. citizenship. I got a state of Florida voter ID card. I'm going to participate in every election. I'm going to stay engaged. When it's election time, I'm coming back home. I'm voting. I'm going to let my voice be heard. But
So y'all know it's
When
always
I need a
jokes.
break.
Yeah, but I can do that right from here, and I ain't got to move.
Hey,
And
clearly.
so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all of that right from the comfort of my own home.
I got you.
This is where I was born and raised here. I ain't leaving. I'm not
I
getting
ain't
nobody to make me leave.
So it's always a jokester. Big D 8890 clearly is a jokester. He says, might want to wait 3 years, might not be welcome back. LOL.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, you know what? Behind every joke, there is some truth.
You lead-
The way
I-
this administration is, who knows? They might consider you an immigrant then, and now you won't be able to come
Yeah,
back.
that's
They
why-
already, they
or
already
subject-
want to. They already
or
want to
subject-
consider us immigrants.
or subject to ICE interference or being.
Bro, they already
Right.
want to consider
Right.
us immigrants.
Right.
So I'm not leaving, man. I'm not leaving. That if you by all means, if that's what you want to do, God bless you. I
Tori,
Good
go, God
riddance.
bless
every
you.
little
Good
step I
riddance.
take gonna be right here in these good old United States. I'm
Okay.
not leaving.
Ain't
I
nothing
get
wrong
it.
with
I
that.
get. I respect your opinion.
I'm gonna be a part-time expat.
Hold on one second. Calm down, Killer.
No, I ain't gonna calm down because I ain't going nowhere.
You good, Tori?
No, I ain't good.
We didn't
Get
let
off
no
my
people rock.
doorstep.
No, I'm good, man. I'm just okay.
Good,
But yeah,
man,
I'm not gonna give them the pleasure. I'm not doing it. They're not
Yeah.
causing me to leave my home. Everything that I want, I
got
built
it right
this
here.
life here, so I'm gonna see it through. Yep.
I ain't mad at you. Go ahead. I'll
If
be in Belize.
if I die, at least I die at home.
I'm gonna be in Belize for 3 to 4 months out the year, on the beach reflecting.
Have you been to Belize yet?
Not yet. I'm going this summer for the first time to look at lots.
Wow, that's what's up. Tori, now, if and by chance, don't kill the messenger or the question asker. If there were another country to which you visit extensively,
I ain't going. I told you last time I ain't going nowhere.
Notice, I'm handling with kid and glove.
No, I was just joking.
But if there were a country, let's just say for kicks and giggles, you wanted to live, let's say 2-3 months out of the year, where would it be?
I don't know, man. That's a hard question.
Miami.
I never given it thought. I never given that thought. It would have to be somewhere warm and tropical.
Well, one of the reasons I like Belize is it's English speaking, and they have a large African American expat community there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's only a 2-hour flight from Miami. Flights are cheap, so it's somewhere that I can go back and forth. That's one of my criteria. If I go somewhere, in terms of owning a place of residence,
It's going to be Belize.
well, not just, I ain't 100% sold on Belize yet, but like I said, I hadn't visited for the first time. But wherever it is, it's going to be somewhere where it's not a problem for me to go back and forth. You know what
All
I'm
right,
saying?
so at 89, Brianna R., a former manager I had, was from Greenland, but moved to the U.S. after college, got married, had kids, but kept her citizenship in Greenland for the benefit of her child since they have free college.
Yeah.
There's benefits. There's benefits. There's pros and cons to everything. You know what I'm saying? There's pros and cons to living in the U.S. There's pros and cons to leaving the U.S. So, like I said, everybody got to kind of weigh their decisions, on their scenario and what works best for them. So I feel you. If you don't want to leave, y'all stay right here and leave all that beach to me.
And, yeah, I was about to say, if you want to come down to Aruba to visit, you know.
I'll visit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I'm coming back.
Me too. Matter of fact, I might be on the same plane with you on the way back.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
But, man, survival of the fittest, there's so many aspects, so many angles we can take. Give us your engagement. Let us know, what is your survival tactic? What do you plan to do during these times that soon will inevitably become a little more lean as things become more expensive?
Yeah.
Your spending will change. Your habits will change.
Yeah.
Your needs will definitely decrease, and your wants will decrease as well. It's left to you to make the most wise decision for you and your family, financially, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Yeah. We got to get informed. Most importantly, we got to get informed. We got to get engaged. We got to get off the sideline. The house is on fire.
Right.
And it's not going to behoove us to sit in the house while it's burning.
Correct.
Right. So we got to get up. We got to get engaged. We got to get informed. We got to get in the game, man. Like, it's time.
To your point, man.
It's
to
time.
your time, I think as a community, we've all not across the board, but too high of a percentage of us don't engage politically.
Yeah.
And then our voice as a whole doesn't have the weight that it could if we all got active at them voting polls. You know what I'm saying? And you really want some change?
That's the greatest way to survive. These midterms are coming up.
They are.
Right.
And we're very reactionary as a people. Don't want to generalize here, but we can't be reactionary, okay? We got to get out in front of this stuff. Like
it's so Tori.
We have to be proactive.
Hold on, dog.
We can't be reactive.
People trying
It's
to
so
survive,
easy to say that, but the thing of it is, our culture. Unfortunately, you're right. Our culture is very reactionary.
Yes.
However, to your point, you definitely have to be proactive than react. One of these times, your reaction ain't gonna have any type of action or recourse because they will have taken over because we weren't proactive.
That's the point.
But the thing of it is,
we're almost at that point.
What
now.
do we do to change that? In your opinion, what do we do? I
just said, you got to get out. You got to get in. You got to get involved. You got to get knowledgeable.
Where's the person who says, I'm not watching the news, I don't get involved with politics? If you had to change their mind, how would you do it?
I would tell them it's not about politics.
How would you get?
Because a lot of this stuff.
Hold on, dog.
It's not politics. We want to call it politics.
How would you persuade them to become more engaged?
I would tell them it's not politics. This is life. Everything in politics affects your life.
Right.
If you don't get involved, you are saying, "Hey, I'm gonna let you rule over me. I'm gonna let you decide where I get to live, how many taxes I have to pay, what type of education my kids get, what I'm privy to." You're basically handing over your power to somebody else if you don't get involved. So it's not even politics.
Right.
People want to call it politics. This is life.
Quality of life.
This is your life.
Quality of life.
Politics affects every part of your life.
Agreed.
Right.
Show me one area of your life that politics don't touch. Right. Show me one.
But that's the disconnect. Most people that's not involved and don't engage in politics have not connected the dots, and they don't see how those politics impact their life.
And so that's why I wanted to get away from calling it politics.
To answer his
this
question,
is life.
That's how you persuade them.
And this is exactly how I would tell them. I would tell them that. Show me one area of your life that's not impacted by politics.
I got pause 1 second. We got Big D 8890 from South Georgia, to be exact. That'll teach you the culture and a healthy love for your people. LOL. Brianna R. Safe room on the beach for me, Dad. I like the beach.
That's my baby
that's your
girl.
Daughter?
Look
Shout
at
out to Brianna.
One time for Boot Girl 007, baby.
As my parents would say, first thing, trust in God. Next, you got to find ways to simplify your life and get less dependent. Woo.
Yeah.
But that right there, become less dependent, that'll preach on its own.
And faith without works is dead, too.
There you go.
So it's good. You can have your faith, but you got to get up off that couch and get involved.
Get up off your John Brown hind parts.
And get involved.
Do something.
He
goes on to further say, Killer Mike has been saying for years, we need to get back to growing our own.
Yeah. I would add to that. Growing our own is, of course, like produce, I'm not sure what all he's talking about, but growing finances, growing assets, growing portfolio. We got to have assets,
That's
bro.
exactly more assets than liabilities.
Right.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Growing your own don't necessarily mean fruits and vegetables. Growing your own, having your own, becoming less dependent and completely self-sufficient is the goal.
And for those that say we don't have any, like my vote don't count or I can't make a difference, just look at our purchasing power.
Right.
Just look at our purchasing power.
Bro, a dumb number.
We have more purchasing power than some small countries.
Bro, we purchase more.
We are the consumers, right? Just imagine imagine what we could do with that money.
Tori, do you realize we are the most frivolous spenders in this world?
We are.
Money leaves the black community and your pocket within seconds.
Some
Whereas
of-
in the Jewish community, 17 times it touches another Jewish business or
Right.
owner before it leaves
I
that
would
community.
push back just a little bit. Yes, we are somewhat frivolous, but a lot of it is spent on survival. A lot
What
of it is
is
spent on survival.
bruh,
We have to buy. We are the consumers. You know,
Tor.
we spend more of our income
I would say
things that we
a
need to
greater
survive.
percentage.
Yeah.
Water, clothing, and shelter
Yeah.
are the only real necessities of life. You don't need those Christian Louboutins. You don't need the red bottoms. You don't need the Louis Vuittons. You don't need to be
Yeah,
buying
we
Jordans.
do spend a disproportionately high amount of our
On
available
things that
resources
do not appreciate.
on
Yeah.
things that's not going to grow in value.
and we don't have that expendable money to do that. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? A lot of us
exactly.
don't have that. You know,
Right.
expendable money.
Right.
To
We
be
got
doing
limited
that.
resources, which means we got to be more selective on where we put them, so
Correct.
that they work for us and
Facts.
not
Absolutely.
against us. You know what I'm saying?
Big facts, man. We chewed up quite a bit of this meat, and there's still some meat on the bones. But man, what would be your parting thought, Paul?
Again, I would say to people, especially people along in my age bracket, you know, I got to the point, and again, I'm not trying to preach like I got it all figured out. What I can say is what I've been doing thus far wasn't working, not to the point that I wanted it to, so I had to shift, you know what I'm saying? And that's what made me start looking and thinking outside the box, you know what I'm saying? I need more for me. I need more for my baby girls that's watching. I need something to be able to leave them. And so my mindset, and I did. When I first finished pharmacy school, I did all the things, bro. I chased all of the things, jet skis, motorcycles, you know, the big house, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, well, the real estate, now that worked out for me, but all of the other stuff, it didn't produce nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? So all of the money that came through my bank account and went places, what's there to show for it? What's there that's working for me now that I can fall back on now that I'm getting older? I can't be out here grinding 9 to 5 like I did when I was fresh out of school. You know, it's time for me to start thinking about sitting down. You know, it's time for me to start building a legacy, something that I can pass to my girls. And that's why my mindset shifted. And that's what I would encourage people, man. Let's start thinking about what our money can do for us. You know what I'm saying? And it'll get to a point where your money is making more money for you than you making going somewhere to clock in. And
Big
when you
facts.
get to that, you're not dependent on a job. You know what I'm saying?
So before I go to Tora, Carl Creighton says Portugal, Panama, and Ghana.
Yep.
Carl, are you saying those are the #1 destinations for people of color?
Yep.
Or are those your desired places to live if you were to leave the U.S.?
Yeah, a
While
lot
he's
of people
giving
going
a
to
reply.
Portugal.
Tora, what's your parting thoughts?
Man, you know, I would just piggyback off what Paul said. You know, he was talking about the financial aspect. For me, it goes back to not politics but life. We got to get off of the sidelines. We got to get informed. We got to get in the game. Again, the house is on fire. So it makes no sense for us to sit in the house and go up in flames with the house. You know what I'm saying? We got to get up. We got to get out of there. We got to get involved. We have to understand. We have to have a mind shift that my vote don't count or I'm not going to make a difference. Bro,
Yeah.
you can definitely make a difference.
Yeah.
You can definitely make a difference, and we need you at this time.
Every vote counts. We
Every
need
vote counts.
Everybody.
Your activism counts. You're being involved counts. So I would encourage anybody who is wavering, straddling the fence, sitting on the sideline, get up and get in the game, man. We need you.
Don't boo, vote.
Don't boo, vote.
So
Not only vote, get out there and do something.
Take somebody
Support-
else with you to vote.
Put your
too.
dollars behind people who are actually fighting for things that impact us. That are they're going to be helping us fight against this regime.
Hold these politicians accountable to making decisions that impact your life. And if the person you voted for ain't, stop voting for them.
Stop supporting them.
Stop supporting
Do not
them.
vote against your own interests.
if I were
That's
to give
good.
a
That's
parting
good
shot,
advice.
that's actually a great point. If I were to give a parting shot, I would say January 1st, 1865, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of it is, we as black folks live in slavery because we live above our means. In this season where you'll have to do more with less. Now is not the time to be frivolous.
Yeah.
Now is not the time to enslave yourselves with unnecessary spending, frivolous spending, or even living above your means. So emancipate yourself. With this proclamation, I say that the Baldheaded Barbershop is now closed. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Tori. Most importantly, thank you, the viewers and listeners of the Baldheaded Barbershop. Make sure you check us out next Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Right here on
Can I say
YouTube.
something smart?
Every
He
week,
who
every
learneth
week
not-
we do this, Paul. So for Paul Rivers, this and Tori Taylor, this is Sterling Stevens. To put us all together, we are Baldheaded Barbershop.
One time for my baby girl, Boo Girl 007. She got me cheesing on the camera, man. That was